Okay, so right now I'm going to be working on this project that I had an idea for, which is basically my brothers and I were talking about who were good NBA draft picks and who were bad NBA draft picks. And specifically we were talking about, I think, Draymond Green. I think he was drafted late first round or in the second round, and it was like, okay, who's a better draft pick, Draymond Green or, I don't know, somebody else. Anyway, it got me thinking that we should be able to quantify this. Go to it. Just make sure our stream is still rolling. Yeah, we're good. Okay, so on this site is really good for web scraping because the URLs are very predictable. So if we go to the year 2003, the 2003 NBA draft, we can see all these players and stats about them. And kind of the conclusion that I came to is that career points, which is in this column, is a very simple way to find out how good of a career somebody had. So like LeBron has 34,000 points in his career. And let's say TJ Ford had almost 5,000. So LeBron had a better career than TJ Ford. But Darko Milicic had 2,000. So he wasn't a very good draft pick because he was like, if you rank these players in terms of points, if you were to sort them, then you'd see Darko Milicic is a lot lower than number 2. So I made a couple of scripts in here, and I was just using the devtools in here. So let's open up devtools and see what this is going to look like. Open up the console, and this is a table. So I'm just querying for this table, and then and it's like stats and TR, and then within that I get the TDs. And make sure that the TDs exist. So those are going to be the players, and then there's a players list. So let's just run this code that we have. See if we can get a list of players here. Thought I had done more than this, but that's all right. Okay, so now I have this players list. And this list is career points 1, so it's a reverse order. It's a sorted list, so it's sorting by sorting these players by their career points, and then it's also adding in their player name, their pick number, and stuff like that. Pick number, player name, career points. Okay. So if we go in here, we have pick number, player name, career points. And what we're interested in is their rank in career points. So like LeBron is number 1. Our sorting isn't really working very well. So let's see if we can get that better. Oh, right. Because this is messed up. So, no, it's not. We do want to have our career points. We want to check if both career points are numbers. Right? Because some of these are not a number. I wonder if it's not a number, we could just assign it 0. Let's try that. So basically for each player that never played a game, like this guy, Sophocles Shortsanitis, looks Greek, but I'm sorry for butchering that name. Anyway, for each player that didn't play, they didn't have any career points. So let's see if we can assign them a 0 for their career points. So career points equals either that or 0. So let's try this one more time. Each time we run this, because I guess I have let here, but and here I can actually just chain this. So let's do that. Boom. It'll be a little nicer. All right. And I could chain this as well if I really wanted to. So I could do this. Boom, this big chain of stuff. All right. So let's see what we got with this. Let's refresh the page so we get rid of the variables that I've created. Run this and say players. It's going to be an array of 58. And okay, this is a little better. I think we're all good here. Our player name is wrong. We're getting the wrong column for that. So it looks like instead of getting this column, we're getting the, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Instead of getting the 4th column, we're getting the 5th column. So we really should do the next one up, which is now going to be, so player name. Oh, we actually want to do one less. So let's try this. We'll grab this, and this time we can, we'll refresh it. I could just rename the variable, but let's do it like this, pretty easy. And then we'll say players, run this, and okay, so now we've got their names. I do want to sort it the other way, so, and we probably don't need this anymore because we shouldn't have, it's not a number. So let's say like that, and like that, and okay, so this should be good. Let's run this one more time just to make sure that we're doing this right. And then after this, what I want to see is I want to see the difference between their ranking, the order of how many points. Okay, so LeBron is number 1 in terms of points, like his points ranking. And then poor Shu Yu Yang is last place, but really tied with all these people. Okay, so LeBron is 1 in terms of points and his pick number, and then Chris Bosh is number 2 in terms of his points, but 4 for pick number, so really he like jumped 2 spots. Melo is 3rd for both. David West jumped a bunch of spots. So let's get the difference for these. So we also want to say const relative. What do we want? It's going to be like the relative, like how good the pick was. So it's like the pick difference, or first let's say let's add a field here. So instead of sort, we're going to use map one more time. And we can say this is going to be player. And we want to return all the fields from player. We also want to take this is going to be like the ranking. So let's say it's going to be I plus 1. Okay, let's run this. Get rid of that extra semicolon. Do some formatting. Okay, now it should contain their ranking as well, like their point ranking. Let's check out players. All right, and so it's too long. So his point ranking is 1, just like it should be, and this point ranking is 58. Okay, so it's not really fair for these. We could fix that because all these are tied. But I don't really care about that for now. So what we do care about is now we also want to have the difference. So the ranking difference. So this is like draft order ranking difference. Super long. Let's say draft quality. Draft pick quality is going to be, and let's store this in a variable here. Okay, and then here we can just use short form point ranking. And here we can say, what's this going to be? Point ranking minus player dot pick num. I think that's what we want. Okay, so that's going to get the difference. And yep, we need to make this an equal sign. Okay. So now when we jump over to our draft tab, then we can reload this page. Check out players. And now we have this draft pick quality. So this is really like the draft pick score. So 0, -2. Chris Bosch is -2. Oh, so we want it the other way around because Chris Bosch jumped. So let's jump over here and put this the other way around. So this is going to be the pick num. Minus the point ranking. And we kind of want this at the top, actually. Okay. So let's give this a shot. This should give us exactly what we want. Then once we have this, then we can start playing with Playwright, which is how we're going to be scraping this data and storing it actually for use. Okay, so now we have draft pick quality as our first number. And even though we're sorting by the career points, we could sort by draft pick quality. And again, these players with 0 points, it's kind of not fair. All these are, I should maybe even filter these out because they never really played a game. But we'll leave those in. Yeah, so I guess to fix this, we could find who is the top. Yeah, so the top ranked, the top ranked 0 point scorer would be like the ranking that we should give people, like their point ranking. So let's find that and make sure we're doing this right. And then we also want to sort this. This is sorting by points first, and then we're using that sorting for our point ranking. So we're going to keep that sort even though we're going to resort this. And here we can say we're going to sort by draft pick quality, and hopefully that works. Let's try that, and then we can work on evening out our zeros that I mentioned. Otherwise our data is going to be messed up. Okay, so we've got our players and they should be nice. So the best, like the biggest steal of this draft was Kyle Korver, then Zaza Pachulia, then Mo Williams, then Matt Bonner, then Keith Bogans, James Jones, Brandon Hunter. I mean, these should be kind of like relative, because yeah, Brandon Hunter didn't like do a ton. he probably doesn't have that many points. His career points is 187. So there should be a place where we kind of cut it off. But yeah, this is like a very beginning way of getting these stats. So let's start with this. We can scrape this data based on this. LeBron is kind of middle of the pack. His draft pick quality is 0. Because it's even. It's like an over-under, you know? So all these are going to even out to 0. So let's go ahead and, yeah, we'll level out all the zeros. So we'll just make them all tied. So then we'll do map one more time. This is probably like major over usage of these array methods, but sometimes it's just easier to chain them all like this, at least when you're writing the code, maybe not when you're reading it. Okay, so now we want to change the point ranking. That's what we care about. So our point ranking is going to be this. So let's say our point ranking is going to be player.pointRanking. If let's see. So if the player has 0 points, got it. So if the player has 0 points, we'll say player.points. We still keep that? No, career points. So if the player has 0 points, then we're going to check the player before. So we also want to pass in our array here as well. Players -1. We're going to check the player before. And if that player has 0 career points, I feel like I'm getting into spots where I could get like out of bounds errors now, but I think we're going to be safe. So if the player has 0 career points and the player before has 0 career points, then we're going to use the, can we move this up here? This is now going to be let. Then we're going to change our point ranking. Our point ranking is going to equal the player before's point ranking. Okay, hopefully that works. And it's not going to be the career points, it's going to be the point ranking. Okay, so that formats properly. Let's try this, run it. I'm doing this all in Observable, by the way, because eventually I'm going to do a data visualization with this, and so I don't want to even bother with setting up a Git repository and storing this and getting this running in VS Code. I just kind of want to do it in Observable because that's where I'm going to have my output. So let's check out our players, and we're good there. And let's check out these guys. All of their point ranking is 44. This guy's point ranking is 41 because he had 19 points. Dang, there's some bug in here. Yeah, I have a bug somehow with the sort. Oh no, it's not with the sort because I'm not sorting by. Okay, so I should be looking for players that have 0 points. Anyone with 0 points? Nah, his point ranking is 58. So that's bad. And that's because that's happening after this resorting. So it should happen before it. Yep. So I really am making like, I'm overusing all these functions, but yeah, the order of these is important, and I have to keep that in mind. So let's try this one more time. Run this, and now when we check our players, anybody with 0 points should pick num. Anyone with 0 points should have the same point ranking. So let's check it out. We know some of these foreign sounding names, non-American sounding names, point ranking is 50. And then let's check out this one. Point ranking is 47. So there's some kind of bug there. This thing is not working as I want it to. So let's just get rid of this. And I can fix that later. Okay, so now with this in mind, this is the beginning query and manipulation that I'm going to use to store my data. Eventually, I'm going to be creating a bar chart with this. And I could create the bar chart now, or I could jump into Playwright. Let's go ahead and jump into Playwright. So I'll open up VS Code. And I'll open a new window. And I'll zoom in a little bit so you guys can see it. Okay, so let's go ahead and make a new directory. This is going to be called, let's just call it NBA Stats. And we'll go ahead and npm init. All right, cool. So now we want to npm install save dev, and it's going to be, I think it's just Playwright like this. Let's check out what it is. Getting started. Yep, Playwright. All right, cool. So we'll do that. I'll also initiate a Git repository just for the sake of standards and safety and keeping my code somewhere. Let's wait for this to all download. While that's running, we can check out here in Observable. It's nice. We can probably find like a sortable bar chart, which is probably what we want to kind of fork off of. So with our bar chart, we're going to want to sort by these things. Each of these is, yeah, we can basically use this straight up. And instead of having, where's the data being put in here? Data. Instead of having their data, which is the CSV that they're parsing, we can use ours, which is our NBA draft picks. So that'll be good. And we can use that once we have the data actually being saved in here. So let's go ahead and get init as well. And I guess we don't have any files really in here. We do actually. Let's go ahead and open this. It's always funny when you haven't added the git ignore yet, and there's like 1,000 files to add. So we'll have node modules in here, and it's going to change and be 3. All right, great. So let's add these guys, and we do want that, and then all right, cool. So we got that all committed. And let's start walking through Playwright here. So let's make our Playwright Script. We can just straight up copy this. The hello world here. First script, or we can copy the first script. Navigate here, take a screenshot. Let's copy this guy and jump into our files. We'll just create a new file. And we can say stats grabber. Oops, hello. Whoa. Okay, and pop this in here. Yep. But instead of that, we're gonna wanna jump to here. And eventually we're going to change this. So it's gonna be cycling through a bunch of different drafts because we're gonna wanna get like long-term draft information throughout the years. And yeah, I guess we could do a screenshot. We don't really care about a screenshot here. So let's save this. We can run this in a bit. Oops, let's pin this. All right, cool. So yeah, then we can do Firefox launch, headless faults. Let's do this just as a test. So let's change this one. All right, so if we run this, then we should see it running. So we can say node stats grabber. Got it, of course. So we have to do Firefox up here. It's opening nightly, and then it closes it. Okay, cool. So we have it doing that. That's good. Now we need to figure out how to query it, how to query the DOM. So let's jump over here, and there's something about selectors, element selectors. And if what I remember, it's like, normally you're like performing actions, you're not really saving data. So we'll have to figure out how to write to a file, but for now we can just console log. But I remember seeing something about like these double dollar signs when I was looking for web scraping with Playwright. Yeah. How to scrape the web with Playwright. So there's kind of this weird syntax for doing this. In Puppeteer, it's just like they give you like a document. So you just use document.querySelector all, whatever, just like you would in the browser. And in here, in Playwright, it's slightly different. So, oh no, you can use document, it looks like. So let's just try that. We'll just pull in this exact thing. And then let's console.log players. Okay, and see what that gives us. It should give us the same thing that we got when we were in the browser, but we will see. Document is not defined. So let's check out in here in this guide. Page wait for function. Let's see. After clicking, so this person's doing a click. Let's see where document comes in. So let's try this. It doesn't look like this is using or like declaring document anywhere. It seems like it's just kind of magical. So let's run that and see if that magically works. So it's after the go to. await page.goto. And then we can pop all this stuff inside of that await. Okay. All right, let's see what this gives us. I also need to do some code formatting here. Yes, just use prettier. It doesn't really help. Okay, so let's try this again and see if doing it with that helps at all. It hasn't thrown any. It's so funny to run it in here. You don't have like an ad block or anything, which normally I do. And I have it waiting for something, but I don't know if it's, if I really gave it anything proper to wait for. So let's check out here. Let's look for wait for function. Actually, let's search for document. Handle, evaluate handle. Method returns a map with own property names as keys and JS handle instances for property values. JS handle. I don't really know it. Here we go. JS handle represents an in-page JavaScript object. JS handles can be created with the page.evaluateHandle method. Okay. So let's try that and see if that helps. JS handle prevents the reference JavaScript object being garbage collected unless the handle is exposed. Okay. As element, dispose, evaluate. Here we go. Let's give this a shot. So if we do this guy, evaluate handle, handle get properties. So we might need to do all this, but let's just play with this and see what we get. So let's run this guy, handle, and this is going to return evaluate handle. Handle properties, properties get window. Yeah, let's just try all of this actually. Okay. Yeah, my formatting on this is way off. Okay, and then we have what I really want here is this document handle. And hopefully I can use this. Let's see if I'm using document anywhere else. Nope. So maybe this will work. Let's see where this is ending. Okay, get rid of this. And get rid of this wait for function. So in case it's not clear, I've never used Playwright before. This is my first time ever using it. I've used Puppeteer before, but figured I'd give Playwright a shot, see how it goes. And so far, I think it's as expected. It was a little more clear how to use like document and scrape data with Puppeteer from what I remember. But anytime you're using something new, you're learning the technology. So let's see here. Probably in here, this is returning an object with window and handle. Excuse me, window and document. Evaluate handle. here we go. Okay. So let's search for document again in here. Okay, so this is adding something in here. It's not helpful for us. Let's look for document elsewhere. So anyway, I'll continue with this. I'll probably cut here, but I need to do some research into doing web scraping with yeah, this is what I was talking about, page.eval. Anyway, I need to do some research into web scraping with Playwright, which I'm clearly not too comfortable with for right now. But I'll look into that. I have a decent script here that needs some work, but it's a good start. And then I'll likely be using this sortable bar chart and going from there. And as I'm scraping the data, I'll be scraping through multiple years and improving how I'm comparing these players. Hopefully I can get a little bit better of a system, but the one that we have right now it's a good start, so it's something to go off of. But I think that is it for today's stream. Thanks for watching, and let me know if you have any ideas about this project that would make it better. Obviously this is a work in progress, so definitely interested in thoughts or ideas that you have about how to truly rank if a draft pick is good or bad, a bust or a steal. Anyway, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Hope you have a good one. See ya.